Okay, so we talked about the JetSled Pulk and the cover. And so I told you I have two of these, and I was in the middle of modifying this cover. And I was going to go ahead and get it all sorted out and upgraded, okay, with tie downs and whatnot, and then I would come back and do this video for you, because of course when we're going out and it's really windy and snow's blowing like crazy and whatnot, and we want to be able to cover our sleds, okay, our Pulks. We want to be able to cover them so that we can protect the contents and also keep blowing snow and debris out of them when we're actually using them, right? So right now I have the cross poles attached. So as you can see, the cross poles are attached right now, and I've got the cover on. So I'm just going to go over the cover. I put some random things in there for you to kind of fill it out. Stuff I would normally take anyway, right? So this is the all-terrain camouflage cover that Chappelle makes for the JetSled. It is elasticated around the edges, okay? So it does come a minimal, it does have the elastication, but then I added D-rings and webbing tie-ins, okay, to mine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about this a little bit. So what we have here is we have the sledge or Pulk, okay, and then we have the cover on. Now what I have here with this cover is I have two different things going on here. Well, really three different things. So the first thing I have is I have a drawstring that I have installed around the edge of the actual cover, okay, and it's parachute cord, so it's very strong, has two Duraflex barrel locks to keep it tight, okay, so one just backs up the other, okay. And when you got a lot of high winds that causes a lot of flapping, then that can be an issue to loosen up, right? So and then I have tie downs. So I have tie downs to the eye bolts that are actually attached to this this Pulk, this JetSled. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this down here for a minute. Okay. Set that down there for a minute. And then I will undo something here and then we'll come back at you. So what I've got here on this side is I have a tie down which I have engaged, right? Because, okay, so let me just be clear. When I'm actually using this, I've got one side set up to where I can easily get in and out of it, and the other side I have locked down so that I can actually take this cover and then throw it off to one side and get access to the whole interior. Alright, and I just choose this side right now. So this particular lock down here is to keep this from flapping. Alright, so basically you've got a barrel lock, right? Cord lock. And I'll go into this more in detail in other videos. But so I put it about an inch or two from the one end, knotted end, and then this is girth hitched around the steel eye bolt, which is in the rim of my Pulk. Alright, now down here on this end, so this is color coordinated as well. This is a double barrel lock Duraflex cord lock. Okay, double cord lock by Duraflex. So I'm going to undo that, and that allows me to pull this drawstring. Okay. Now what you're going to see here, okay, what you're going to see here is you're going to see drawstrings with Duraflex D-ring, and then you'll see where I did not put a D-ring on this one. This gives this a bit of a little bit of friction, not a whole lot, but a little bit of friction, and then this gives me more space to, like, you know, tie something off real quick if I need to, because obviously this cord doesn't take up that whole D-ring, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the top, right? I'm going to go ahead and take off the top. And the other side is attached because I've got cords on several rings, okay, on the other side, and I tied them off so that those won't come off even in a super high wind, right? And then on the very back in the middle, I have a cord that I could take all of these off, and then that one is a safety cord. It's in the center of the rear of the Pulk, okay? And so you'll see that one here in a minute. I'm going to go in and disengage. I'm going to disengage the pulling apparatus here. I put this on for your visuals. Talked about that before in another video. Alright, so I've got that off. I'm going to go ahead and pull the camera up so you can have a look. Alright, so I took that off so it's easier for me to maneuver the sled around. Right. So that will not blow off, right, when I'm using it. Easy to get off, easy to get on, but it will not blow off. Now this rope, goes through these eye bolts. Okay, these eye bolts are on here with nylock nuts. Okay, so they're on there with nylock nuts. These little cords are just girth hitched on here, so they're easily to put on, easy to put off. And then if you wanted to, you could not actually knot them if you wanted to. Now over here you'll see I've got I've got the actual draw cord for the top. So I could pull that on there, and this is color coded. So this cord is parachute cord in olive green, plus it has two, okay, Duraflex cord locks. Anyway, take that off. Go ahead and maneuver the Pulk. So I've got this one just locked off, right? And what signifies this being locked off over here is that I just take the two ends and I just put a very loose overhand. Doesn't have to be too tight, just tight enough to keep it together. And that way I can undo that if I really need to. Okay. Now over here, this is on here to where it's not going to come off. So I have it Duraflex cord lock, okay, and then I have a couple of overhand knots, and then just a couple of overhand knots here. So this allows that to have a little bit of flexibility, but not come off of the unit. Okay. So as you can see, these bolts go all the way through, and they have a washer, and then underneath, okay, underneath, here's the eye bolt here, and then you got the rope that goes through, and then over here we have an eye bolt, okay, the rope goes through, as you can see right there. This is a nylock nut, sawn off flush and sanded so it's rounded, smooth. Okay, so you got eye bolt here, eye bolt on that corner, eye bolt in the middle of the back. Okay, so that's 3. Okay, that's the back corner. 4. Okay. 5. 6, 7. Okay, so we got 7 eye bolts. Alright, all the way around. Nothing in the front middle. Okay, no eye bolt in the front middle. Alright, then get the sleeping bag out of the way. As you can see, the original had a hole there. It had a hole here. Okay, these are nylock nuts, self-locking nuts, and there is silicone there. Now on the other side, having a look at the front corner where we clip into each side. Okay, we clip into each side for our harness and pulling apparatus. Here's the other side. This is a screw. There's another piece here. It's like a little washer with an inset. Okay, so it's set in. And then I go ahead and put the nylock nut on the other side. Put silicone first and then tighten it on. Okay, because what I'm doing here is I'm sealing these holes. Alright, sealing these holes that they put in from the factory. That's ridiculous. They put just a rope there, okay, and knot it off on the other side. So you're just supposed to pull it like that. But yet then you're losing all of that. You're losing all of that waterproofness right there. Okay, so you're losing part of your tub for waterproofness. We'll come back video 2 and we'll continue on with the JetSled Pulk. I'll see you there.